Oh shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to part 2 of my video where I talk about my personal opinions on the whole state of the game with Halo Infinite and the announcement of the key features that are being delayed until post-launch. If you guys are looking for part 1, that covered all the details that you guys need to know as far as the development update that 343 provided us with. A bunch of really cool information in there, but this is more of the discussion and reaction video for those looking for that. I personally believe that Halo Infinite should be a complete package on launch. I've said this several times before, and I really do believe that. Halo 5 launched incomplete. Forge was missing, several features were missing, and the game paid dearly for it. It really upset a lot of the community. However, Halo 5 also had the best post-launch support for quite a while that any mainline Halo game has ever gotten. If you count MCC, well, that's different now. A few years later, they went back and fixed MCC, and now they've been adding a bunch of content. That's different. It's more of a celebration of sorts. But Halo 5, for the first couple years after launch, received quite a bit of content. And that's why I really am so excited for the possibilities with Halo Infinite. And it being a live service game, that's the nature of the beast. And yes, that kind of stuff does suck. I miss the days where we would get a game and it was complete on launch, no day one patch, no features missing or getting patched in later. It just wasn't a thing. I know people keep comparing it. Halo 3 did it back in 2007. Game development is a totally different beast nowadays than it was back in 2007. And remember that Forge wasn't even that great. Yes, it was cool in Halo 3, but it wasn't that great until Foundry came in as DLC later. And obviously Reach really took a step up with Forge. That doesn't give it an excuse though. It still launched with Forge, which became a pillar for Halo. And that is definitely something that I agree with. Forge is a pillar for Halo. Even though Forge isn't my thing, it doesn't mean it shouldn't be there at launch, in my opinion. I won't touch Forge. I don't. I'm not that creative. You guys know, you watch my content, I'm not creative at all. So I don't really have any interest in Forge. The biggest thing that I could see impacting Halo Infinite as far as Forge, which people have pointed out, and I'll kind of offer a rebuttal to it, is maps and stuff for the competitive scene. And even social. Cool game types and maps that the community could make that could be added in as an official playlist. That's not possible until at least 6 months after launch, and you gotta give people time to go on ahead and make that stuff. So we could be looking at 9 months to a year till we see community creations and how Forge will impact the competitive scene. The competitive scene has relied on the community in the past for maps and obviously settings. Now 343 does have a pro team, and I think that they would take the community's feedback into consideration when implementing new settings or changes to the competitive playlist. So I expect that to be a thing until we get official Forge support. Now hopefully at launch we have 1, enough developer made maps to hold us over, and 2, maps that actually play really good and keep the attention of the community for that long. I really hope we get at least like 15 maps on launch, and I know that's probably a lot to ask for. Call of Duty, which was a mess for development this year, an absolute mess, has 20 maps at launch. I don't know how many of those are remakes, and I really hope the Halo 5 remix system doesn't make a return. I just feel like that was just trying to pad the number count for amount of maps in the game, and I really didn't enjoy a lot of the remixed versions of the maps. So I hope that doesn't return. I hope we have some original maps. Hey, even some remakes, that's fine. But I really, really hope we have enough content on launch. And the biggest thing I would say too, as far as co-op campaign, I know a lot of you out there do co-op right away. Now for me personally, I plan on playing my first campaign playthrough solo. Not in a party with friends, anything. I want to be immersed into that story. And then I would go back, get my achievements with friends, do co-op, legendary, whatever. For me, neither one of these cuts, for now, they're not getting completely cut from the game, but these delays, I should say, they don't make a difference to me personally. And we've been waiting a long time for a Halo game. 6 years is crazy long. And at this point, I just want a new Halo to play. I'm really in a rut as far as gaming right now. I am not interested in anything. Even going back to MCC after playing the flight is just hard for me. So I really just want a new Halo game, and I'm really happy that we're getting one still this year. So even though this stuff doesn't affect me and I'm okay with this, in the end, that's me saying I'm okay with these delays. Doesn't mean it's right, okay? Like I said earlier, I personally believe that Halo Infinite should be a complete package on launch. I've said that for a while because I didn't think that Halo could survive another mixed launch. You only get one first impression. However, what I personally am affected by, and Forge not being there, campaign co-op not being there at launch, and me being okay with it, like I said, doesn't mean that it's something that should happen. You know, maybe you have a different opinion. Maybe you're completely fine with it and you don't think it should be a complete package. You don't really care. That's fine. This is all opinion based. I'm just saying what I personally, I don't like seeing the community like this, is what I'm really trying to say. We had so much good news for Halo recently, and now the community is right back at being, you know, some people being really toxic about it. And I hate seeing that. You know, this is definitely a concern. It makes me wonder what other things have been cut for now or delayed. I hope we still get ray tracing, you know, at launch. That might still be delayed. We weren't getting it before. So those kind of things do hurt. I appreciate 343 being transparent about this and coming out with it. But, you know, it's not like they could have announced this months ago. They probably had to wait to see how far they could push to get this done. COVID has a huge impact on this, and it could still have a huge impact. They even mentioned it in this little development update Vidoc that they did. So with all that being said, I'm still extremely excited for Halo Infinite, of course. After playing that game, I really think Halo is going to be in a good spot. And like I said, I'm in a rut right now, so I have nothing to play. And Halo, I'm looking for Halo to save me, as it always does. I had the same problem with Halo 5 for a while there. I didn't find any new games enjoyable. I was playing Halo 5 3, 4, 5 years after launch. So, you know, it's just been way too long without a new title in the series. I look forward to grinding the crap out of the multiplayer, getting immersed in that story, and getting all this content delivered to us over time. Now, I recently did a poll on YouTube and on Twitter. Make sure you give me a follow on there at the Patman Gaming. And most of the people that voted agree that they are fine with the current plan by 343 to delay certain features but launch the game. Now, I did offer a couple of other alternatives. One, obviously being the drastic one, delay the game again, which honestly I don't want to see. But if it means a complete package and Halo gets that great first impression and brings in a bunch of people, old and new, then I'm for that. Out of all the options I presented, I thought that maybe doing a beta that lasts until the launch of the game, just for the multiplayer, that lasts until the launch of the game till it's ready, and you know your stats could carry over or whatever, your progress. I thought that would be a cool thing. We've seen games like Fortnite stay in beta forever. I think PUBG did it for a while as well. Splitgate is currently doing it, where you could play the game with a bunch of the features, almost all of it, and it's in beta. They don't want to go on ahead and put that 1.0 release on it. So it's definitely an option. I would honestly be down for that. As long as I got to play Halo Infinite this year, I would be cool with that. And then, of course, I talked about the long ago rumored staggered release, that maybe we release Halo Infinite's multiplayer this year completely and then wait until campaign is ready with all its features to release that. But that's not really a good option because Forge is probably going to be included with the multiplayer, since that is a multiplayer thing. And if that is, you know, being delayed, then you're not getting that full multiplayer offering right off the bat. And that goes against the whole complete package thing anyways. And that's really where I started to mention that I don't think that's a good idea. So those are the options. If you guys have any other ideas or have thoughts about those options, go on ahead and comment down below, because maybe you didn't see my poll or maybe you didn't comment on it, but you want to talk about it. Let's go. Let's talk about it. But I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up once again to support the content. Subscribe if you're new here. I have a video coming out tomorrow about MCC. We got some new news on the MCC custom games browser, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be some really exciting stuff for a lot of you. And as always, subscribe if you're new here so you can stay up to date on all the latest happenings in the world of Halo. Hope to catch you guys on either a previous video of mine or a future video of mine. Till that time comes, I'm your boy Patman, and I'm out.